What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to All We Do Is Talk. We're here to talk some international club football. Talk here with Isaiah. We had some
What's up, Eric?
we had some
What's up? What's
monumental
up?
moves. Uh, Obviously, we'll start off with the big one, Messi to PSG. Take it away, my man.
What more can we say? Some people consider him the greatest football player of all time. And I'm not going to debate him on it. I haven't seen the greats before him. I've lived in this Messi Ronaldo era. And one of them's the GOAT, the other one's in second place at worst. And for this era alone, and their stats speak for themselves, Messi has tons. He has almost all the records from La Liga. Uh, Sad that he had to leave, but I'm sure he could cry less knowing that he signed a 2 year, $100 million contract. And he's going to get to live in Paris, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And he's going to get to play on the front line with Kylian Mbappe, who is one of the best, in my opinion, is the best under 25 player in the world, which is saying something offensive wise, we'll say. And he gets to go reunite with his old Barcelona teammate Neymar Jr. and to form a front line of M. I mean, the nickname is already there, set in stone. What more can he say? Their coach Pochettino, he's got a lot of work. He doesn't really have a lot of work cut out in front of him, but he definitely has a lot of. He's definitely under a lot of pressure because not only did they bring in Messi, they brought in Sergio Ramos, Messi's rival from fellow La Liga team Real Madrid, on a free transfer, who was also a former Champions League winner. They brought in Gini Wijnaldum from Liverpool, who was another former Champions League winner. One Ramos being a defender, Gini being a box-to-box midfielder. They also brought in uh, Donnarumma from where did he come from? He came from AC Milan, but he just earned his props because he was voted the player of the tournament for the Euros this year. Great player. Added all three of those players for free. Now Ramos is older, but still an elite defender. Injuries are starting to creep up on him. Genie, his contract ran out at Liverpool, but still, he's only 30 years old. Yep, only 30 years old. You could squeeze some. They're in a two-year window now. Squeeze some more good years out of him. Uh, Donnarumma is interesting. He's only 22. And he just sprung onto the scene literally the last year and a half. So that's a steal to get him on a free agent signing. And then to get Messi on a free agent signing, what more do we really have to say? It's Messi. And they dipped into the transfer market and went and got Hakimi from where's Hakimi coming from? Let me just look here. Why is his team skip my
While
mind?
you're
Oh
looking,
yeah,
while you're
they got
looking,
Hakimi from
is this team
they got
expected to go undefeated? Like, is this team like?
Hakimi's from
Sorry,
I'm just gonna Hakimi's from Inter. He from Inter who broke the Juventus streak in Serie A for championship title wins, but undefeated. I mean, they had
I don't
they were
really
already
know
at,
the seasons or like what to
yeah.
expect. Really, like, do they
So
play every game?
so every week they play in their league in French, which they of the seven of the last nine titles PSG has won. They didn't win last year, which is surprising that they didn't win. They underperformed last year. So their answers to underperforming last year is to go out and make sure they don't underperform this year. But they had Neymar already. They had Kylian Mbappe. They had Messi's fellow Argentinian teammate who we won the Copa America with, Angel Di Maria. They have their striker, whose name is why is what's the striker's name? Wow. But other than the striker, they have Verratti, who was on the Italy winning Euros team. Incardi. Mauro Incardi is their striker, their previous striker. He's an elite. He's a high level striker. Uh, Verratti in the middle field is a good number 10. Can play some 10, which is like the attacking middle field. He's good in that role. They had Jerissa Gay, who is a really elite defensive midfielder, and they also have Paradis to go along with. They already had Kimpembe, who was on the French World Cup team, and he was on the finals team that PSG had just a couple years ago. They're insanely loaded, so they're going to probably run away with the French league. That's my prediction. That's not saying anything crazy. They're going to run away with the French league. Now, in between the French league, they play two domestic cup tournaments, which is going to be like a couple tournaments involving the other teams from the top leagues for one tournament in France, and then one tournament that's going to have like most of the French teams, including all the small level ones, like the very small level ones. They're going to probably, with the depth that they have and the amount of resources they have, they should run away and they should win everything in the French league. If they don't win every French trophy this year, somebody's going to lose their job. Now, their biggest thing is that they're trying to get over the Champions League hump. They have not won a Champions League, but with this team, they were a top three favorite with Man City and Bayern to win the Champions League. But with this team, it's not saying anything, but this is a Champions League team. If they do not win the Champions League, Pochettino, who is their manager, will probably lose his job. I will say that I'm a fan of Jose Mourinho. He's a world-class manager he's very, to give him I'll compare him to La Russa on the Chicago White Sox. He has pelts on the wall and has experience of winning, but his style has kind of took a turn. It's kind of took its time, and it's past its prime of that style. He's a strict disciplinarian type of manager, and that style might turn off some people, but he's took a job at Roma in Serie A. But if they need to go get him, I would if Pochettino doesn't work out. Pochettino took Spurs to the Champions League final where they lost a few years back, like 3 years back. But if they don't win a Champions League, it's a failure. It's a failure. They have Messi, who has Champions League experience. I think he's won it 3 or 4 times. Sergio Ramos was a part of the Real Madrid team that won 4 straight Champions League. Wijnaldum won with Liverpool when they got over the hump when they beat Spurs. So Gini Wijnaldum was on the team that beat Pochettino's Spurs team for the Champions League. And Donnarumma just came off of being named the player of the tournament for the Euros. So, I mean, to go along with Angel Di Maria, who's already there, him and Messi won the Copa America. They have chemistry. Neymar and Messi have played before and won Champions League before. They have chemistry. And if I'm being honest with you, I think the best player on that team is Kylian Mbappe. I know a lot of people say Messi's still the best player in the world, but I think Mbappe has got next. He's only 22 years old, I believe. He's either 21 or 22 years old. So they have all of that, and they have if you rank the top 5 players in the world, they have 3 of them easily. So Man City's got a squad, and we'll talk about them later when we move on to the Premier League. And Bayern Munich has always got a squad on them. They've got another guy who I think is a contender for best player in the world, and Robert Lewandowski. But if this team doesn't win the Champions League, it will be a massive failure. Put your bets in if you can still win some extra money off of them being like not a heavy favorite by now, because
It's too late.
It's too late.
Vegas knew
It's too
before
late.
it came out.
Now, any weaknesses? They don't have any weaknesses. They're deep in defensive players with adding Ramos, and they have Kimpembe, and they have Marquinhos, who's a good, solid center midfielder and a center back. So, I mean, they're going to be able to play a bunch of different styles with a bunch of different depth at different places. And business-wise, to sign Messi, they're going to make that back in jersey sales alone in the next few months. The Qatari group that owns PSG, that's funding them with all this newfound wealth that they have over the last few years, they're hosting the next World Cup next year. So at that World Cup, they'll be able to have Neymar's face everywhere, and he's going to be playing for Brazil, a team that has a chance to win it. They're going to have Messi's face everywhere for promotion. He's playing for Argentina, another team that has a chance to fight for the World Cup title next year. They're gonna have Kylian Mbappe's face. He's plays for France, who won the last World Cup. The marketability and the money they're gonna make off of endorsements. This is a win-win situation. PSG is going to be able to create even more generational wealth off of this investment, and they're going to create the fan base. They're going to be able to grow off of getting some Barcelona fans from coming over with Messi, some Ramos fans from Real Madrid. Those guys, it's the next generation of kids that they're going to aim for. What they're about to do here, they're the new Galacticos, which is a term that Real Madrid used to use when they used to sign all the big players to have dominant teams. Win-win for PSG. I know other clubs are going to be salty because their team didn't sign Messi, Sergio Ramos, Gini Wijnaldum, Donnarumma, Hakimi, but I've been rooting for PSG since Neymar took the step of wanting to step out of Messi's shadow, which is funny because now he's going to probably be now he's in Mbappe and Messi's shadow, but like that's going to be now it's going to be more of a tandem because Messi was Barcelona, but here at PSG, Neymar and Mbappe were the first to get there, and I think that they're the clear Champions League favorite, and they should win everything in the France league. Like they should win a treble, which is like winning your league, winning your major league tournament, and winning the Champions League. They should win a treble, whatever the 4 trophy term is. They should win that too. Trophies, hand them over to them. They should be winning these. If they don't win the Champions League, major disappointment because that's what you don't make these moves unless you're trying to win the Champions League. But there's nothing more we can really say. They won the off season transfer market for those football fans who prefer that term. Here in America, we call that the off season. But this is probably the greatest transfer window that we've ever seen in our lifetime in football wise. Because they got all these guys except for Hakimi for free. So whoever is doing their books, he's going to be working hard because the money they spent though is going to, their wage bill is off the charts. But I mean, that's all for PSG. Anything else you want to add to that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think PSG Messi is definitely the mercenary going there. You know what I mean? Like Neymar and Mbappe are already established.
Established.
Yeah, so like it'll definitely be different than Neymar in Barcelona.
Yeah. So we'll see. But like Messi, the French fans were feeding for him when he showed up today. But I don't know why they wouldn't be. But man, I'm just like the football alone is going to be amazing to watch. But I just want the money they're going to make off of jersey sales, off of marketing deals, endorsements. That investment that they made into this team is going to come out on the other end as something that it's crazy. The richer get richer. They had oil money and now they have international football money, international club football money. So good on to them
Yeah,
for striking
you did
all of that.
have to lose money. If you
Yeah.
have to lose money, what it says.
Yeah. And like it's not just Messi. Like Messi's the headliner, but Sergio Ramos, he's 35, but he's got a fervent fan base. Donnarumma is 22, and like I said, he won the player of the tournament award at the Euro. So he's got a future. And they already had a goalkeeper in Keylor Navas who came from Real Madrid, so he has Champions League experience. He's their starter, so they're deep at goalkeeper, they're deep at defenders, they're deep at center mid, they're deep at attack. But that's all for PSG. But I'm gonna enjoy watching that. Uh, Moving on from PSG. So I guess I'll just knock out some predictions for some other leagues. So Bayern Munich, I believe, is on a 10-year win streak of their league in Germany, and their main rival, Borussia Dortmund, sold their second best player, Jadon Sancho, to Man U this transfer window. So I mean, I'm not even gonna even Bayern is Bayern. They have Serge Gnabry along with Thomas Mueller, along with Robert Lewandowski, who I think got robbed of the Ballon d'Or the year they didn't give it because they just decided not to give it to anybody. He's a world-class top 5 player in the world. Uh, Not much Kimmich in the midfield, some solid guys and defenders. They got elite speed. Leroy Sané on the wing, along with Kuman, Kuman's from is on the French team, is a Frenchman, and Leroy Sané is on the German national team. He's a German man. I don't know what's the technical term for someone from Germany, but there's not really much competition in Bundesliga, which just kind of sucks because Borussia Dortmund has got one of the next world class players in his name is Erling Haaland. He's a striker, elite player, and he's probably leaving them to move on to Premier League football or go play for one of those La Liga teams because he's not going to be there much longer. They're like a farm system for the better teams. Them and RB Leipzig, those are the other two teams that are going to be competing with Bayern, but they've won the league 10 years in a row. They have the most resources. Not much to say there. Any more questions you want to ask me about how I feel about Bundesliga? That's the German league.
No, I mean it seems like there's a clear dominant. It's like Oklahoma in the Big 12
Yeah, yeah, they've got things locked up there. So we're not even gonna carry on there. I will say
in the Big 12.
if Robert Lewandowski has another big season, he was robbed of a Ballon d'Or award when they then decided not to just to cancel the award in general. I would love to see him get that award back because it will be the cherry on the top of his career. He has had a great career. They won the Champions League, I think, 2 or 3 times while he's been there. Uh, Good on to him, but that's it for that, really. Next, we're going to move on to a interesting league, but interesting for all the wrong reasons. La Liga. Messi's leaving Barcelona. Real Madrid lost Ramos. They lost Varane to Man U. They lost Ramos to PSG. So they're a little bit in flux, but they have some young guys there. They also have Eden Hazard, who they signed to a big contract on a big fee a few years back, but he's been injury prone and just hasn't worked out for them. Sucks. I enjoyed watching him at Chelsea because I Chelsea's my team in the Premier League. Said he's been hurt there. I'd love if he came back to Chelsea and showed that he could still play, but I doubt it. And last year, Atletico Madrid actually won La Liga, and it was surprising because they signed Luis Suarez from Barcelona. They've got they have the Felix kid, who's like the next. He's one of the next young guys who is supposed to be making the step to being the world class players of the future. He had a down season with some injuries and stuff, but he's still a good player. So I'm just gonna the top three. So this is a 3-team league in my opinion. It's usually it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. Sevilla will give you some fights every now and then. They got Real Sociedad, good team, and Real Betis. I mean, and Villarreal, but it's a 3-team league in my opinion. So if I had to rank the 3 teams, I think Real Madrid will reclaim the La Liga title this year, and they will be the team that is at the top of the table. They don't call it standings; it's the table. Real Madrid will be at the top of the table. I think Barcelona will be second. I like their coach, manager, Koeman. I'm a fan of Antoine Griezmann. He was my favorite player to watch in La Liga after Ronaldo and Messi. And I don't know why he went to Barcelona. I thought that was a bad move for his career, but I think he'll step up. And now that Messi's gone, he'll take over the Messi role. They also have Felipe Coutinho, who's a good attacking midfielder. Barcelona really screwed themselves because they spent $150 million for Coutinho, $150 million for $350 million for Ousmane Dembele, who's a fellow Frenchman of Griezmann. For 3 different reasons. Dembele is always hurt. I think he's hurt already. Griezmann just never fit, in my opinion, because he plays the Messi role, and Coutinho also plays a semi-Messi midfield role. So the fit just didn't work. They've got some young guys like Frankie De Jong, who I really like as a defensive do-it-all midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. They still got Piqué, who's Shakira's husband, as their defenseman. Their defense is not good, and they have a defensive-minded manager. So that's the only scary thing about Barcelona that makes me scared to put them at 2. But I think they'll prove some doubters wrong, prove that Messi, although he's a club grade, no one player is above a club or a league, and I think they'll move into the two. And I think Atletico Madrid's fairy tale ride from last year will come to a halt, and they'll be the third place team of the three big teams in La Liga. But other than that, not much more. I didn't. All three of these teams are struggling financially, so they've done a lot of selling and not a lot of buying because Real Madrid and Barcelona are still trying to get that Super League to take off, and they're also like looking at some another way to get some more money into the league via a banking company that they've been talking to with a deal, like a partnership deal with some invest if the bank invests into the league. So La Liga's in some flux right now, and they lost Ronaldo a few years back, and now losing Messi. It sucks that ESPN just signed a new 5-year contract with them for the TV rights to distribute their games. So ESPN making more bad moves, like nothing's different, nothing's new there. But I don't really have La Liga is going to be. I mean, I think they're going to be one of the least interesting leagues of the top 5 leagues. I think there's no doubt now that Messi and PSG are going to carry the French league, that La Liga is going to fall behind and be one of the least interesting leagues to follow. They still got some nice, talented players. Like I said, Griezmann over there in Real Madrid. They've got a young guy on the wing that I can't think of his name. They've got Karim Benzema still putting in some good football. But anything you want to say about La Liga, in my opinions I got for La Liga.
I mean, I agree. It's definitely going to take a dip. I mean, losing Ronaldo and Messi in a matter of years that's a big blow to. I'm sure ESPN's not happy with Messi not being in that league, but yeah, I mean, it should open it up to more teams competing at least with Messi gone. So that should at least excite the fans of those teams because it'll be more competitive.
Yeah, so like the middle of the table teams or the next tier of like Sylvia or Real Sociedad, Real Betis, Villarreal, like now those teams they have a chance to like creep into those like the top 4 of every league gets to be in the Champions League. That those teams get to be in the Champions League for the following year. So I mean, if things break right for those teams, like if Barcelona falls to shit, like I predict they'll be second and they'll overcome the loss of Messi. But if they fall to shit, really, like some of those teams will get a chance to step up into their place, and that might do wonders for the league because a lot of these leagues, except for the Premier League, are like one-sided, like 2-team leagues, 1-team league, or like at best a 3-team league, like La Liga was at its peak Ronaldo Messi days. But I mean, next we'll move on to the last of the uninteresting leagues, in my opinion. We have Serie A, which last year Juventus's 7-year streak of winning the league was broke, and Inter Milan won the league, and Juventus actually finished in 4th, so they barely qualified for the Champions League. They finished behind AC Milan, who brought in Zlatan. I'm not even going to try to butcher his last name. I could say it when I'm not on camera, but everybody know who Zlatan is. He was here in America, revived his career playing for LA Galaxy, and then Atalanta was in 3rd place. So the Serie A is got a lot of good teams. Like they have a lot of historically good teams. Like they have Inter Milan, AC Milan, Atalanta, who's picked it up recently, Juventus, who's the powerhouse, Napoli, who's been struggling in recent times, Lazio and Roma. So they've got some teams who have they shouldn't be a 1-team league, but recently Juventus has taken over in these last few years. But if I have to rank these, I'm gonna go the top 6 because I mean Inter Milan blew up their team. They sold Hakimi to PSG. They've got one of their 4 wingers. I can't think of his name right now, but he's rumored to be going to Spurs. And Romeo Lukaku, who was a godsend for them last year, is looking to be moving back to Chelsea, which I'd be a fan of if he came back to Chelsea. I'd love if Lukaku came back to Chelsea. He was amazing last year in Serie A. But if I had to rank these teams, I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure Juventus will take their stronghold back and they'll be finishing first. I think AC Milan will finish in second. I think Atalanta, who's got a nice attacking team, will finish in third. I think Inter Milan will fall out of the top 4, and I'm going to go with Roma, who's being taken over by Jose Mourinho. I think he'll get his team up to snuff in that power vacuum that's been opened up with so much. This league's been hurt by the fact that the pandemic cost them lots of money, so that sucks for them. I think Roma will come in fourth and clinch a Champions League spot. I think Napoli will go to 5, and I think Inter Milan will fall to 6. They lost their manager. They lost. They're gonna probably lose their 3 most effective players if they and I just don't think they'll have a good season. And I think Serie A is another league that's not very interesting to follow. It's got Ronaldo and a strong Juventus team, but Premier League and PSG are going to carry international club football this year, in my opinion.